Welcome to Audiobook 365 Stories.
A merchant had 3 daughters. One day, he had to go on a trip. Before he left, he asked each daughter what gift they wanted him to bring back. The oldest daughter wanted pearls. The second daughter wanted jewels. But the third daughter, named Lily, said, "Dear father, bring me a rose." It was hard to find a rose because it was winter. But Lily was his prettiest daughter and loved flowers very much, so her father said he would try to find one. He kissed all 3 daughters and said goodbye. When it was time to go home, he had bought pearls and jewels for the 2 oldest daughters, but he couldn't find a rose anywhere. When he asked for a rose in any garden, people laughed at him and asked if he thought roses grew in snow. This made him very sad because Lily was his dearest child. As he was going home, thinking about what to bring her, he came to a beautiful castle. Around the castle was a garden. One half of the garden looked like summer, and the other half looked like winter. On one side, the best flowers were blooming, and on the other side, everything was covered in snow. "What luck," he said. He told his servant to go to the beautiful roses and pick one of the best flowers. After this, they were riding away happily when a fierce lion jumped out and roared, "Whoever has taken my roses will be eaten alive." The man said, "I did not know the garden was yours. Can I do anything to save my life?" The lion said, "No, nothing, unless you promise to give me whatever meets you first when you return home. If you agree, I will let you live and give you the rose for your daughter." The man did not want to do this because he thought it might be his youngest daughter, who loved him the most and always ran to meet him when he came home. The servant was very scared and said, "It might only be a cat or a dog." Finally, the man agreed, feeling very sad, and took the rose. He promised to give the lion whatever met him first on his return. As he came near home, it was Lily, his youngest and dearest daughter, who met him. She came running, kissed him, and welcomed him home. When she saw that he had brought her the rose, she was very happy. But her father was very sad and began to cry. He said, "Alas, my dearest child, I have bought this flower at a high price. I promised to give you to a wild lion. When he has you, he will tear you to pieces and eat you." Then he told her everything that had happened and said she should not go, no matter what. But Lily comforted him and said, "Dear father, you must keep your promise. I will go to the lion and calm him. Maybe he will let me come back home safely." The next morning, she asked for the way to go and said goodbye to her father. She went into the forest with a brave heart. But the lion was an enchanted prince. During the day, he and all his court were lions, but in the evening, they became human again. When Lily came to the castle, the prince welcomed her very kindly, and she agreed to marry him. They had a big wedding and lived happily for a long time. The prince could only be seen in the evening, and then he held his court. But every morning, he left his bride and went away by himself. Lily did not know where he went until night came again. After some time, the prince said to Lily, "Tomorrow there will be a big party at your father's house because your oldest sister is getting married. If you want to go and see her, my lions will take you there." Lily was very happy to think about seeing her father again. She went with the lions, and everyone was very happy to see her because they thought she had died a long time ago. She told them how happy she was and stayed until the party was over. Then she went back to the forest. Soon after, her second sister got married. When Lily was asked to go to the wedding, she said to the prince, "I won't go alone this time. You must come with me." But the prince didn't want to go. He said it would be very dangerous because if even a little bit of light from a torch touched him, his spell would become worse. He would turn into a dove and have to fly around the world for 7 long years. But Lily kept asking him to go and promised to make sure no light would touch him. So, at last, they set out together and took their little child with them. Lily chose a large room with thick walls for him to stay in while the wedding torches were lit. But, unfortunately, no one saw that there was a small crack in the door. The wedding was held with great celebration. But as the group came back from the church and passed by the room with their torches, a small ray of light fell on the prince. In a moment, he disappeared. When Lily came into the room to look for him, she found only a white dove. The dove said to her, "I must fly up and down over the earth for 7 years. But I will drop a white feather now and then to show you the way I'm going. Follow it, and you may find me and set me free." After saying this, the dove flew out the door and poor Lily followed. Every now and then, a white feather fell, showing her the way. She traveled through the wide world, not looking to the right or left, and did not rest for 7 years. Then she began to feel happy, thinking the time was near when her troubles would end. But rest was still far away. One day, while she was traveling, she lost sight of the white feather. When she looked up, she could not see the dove anywhere. She thought, "No person can help me now." So she went to the sun and said, "You shine everywhere, on the hilltops and in the valleys. Have you seen my white dove anywhere?" The sun said, "No, I haven't seen it, but I will give you a box. Open it when you are in great need." She thanked the sun and continued on her way. When the moon rose, she cried to it and said, "You shine through the night, over fields and forests. Have you seen my white dove anywhere?" The moon said, "No, I cannot help you, but I will give you an egg. Break it when you are in great need." Then Lily thanked the moon and continued until the night wind blew. She called out to it and said, "You blow through every tree and under every leaf. Have you seen my white dove?" "No," said the night wind, "but I will ask 3 other winds. Maybe they have seen it." The east wind and the west wind came and said they had not seen it, but the south wind said, "I have seen the white dove. It has flown to the Red Sea and has turned back into a lion because the 7 years are over. Now it is fighting with a dragon." The dragon is an enchanted princess who wants to keep the lion away from you. The night wind said, "I will give you advice. Go to the Red Sea. On the right shore, you will see many rods. Count them, and when you get to the 11th rod, break it off and hit the dragon with it. This will make the lion win, and both the lion and the dragon will change back into their true forms. Then look around, and you will see a griffin with wings like a bird sitting by the Red Sea. Jump on its back with your loved one as quickly as you can, and the griffin will carry you over the waters to your home. I will also give you this nut. the night wind continued. When you are halfway over, throw it down into the water. A tall nut tree will grow from the water where the griffin can rest. Otherwise, the griffin won't have the strength to carry you the whole way. If you forget to throw down the nut, the griffin will drop you both into the sea. So the poor wanderer went on and found everything just as the night wind had said. She took the 11th rod and hit the dragon, and the lion immediately became a prince, and the dragon a princess again. But as soon as the princess was free from the spell, she grabbed the prince by the arm, jumped on the griffin's back, and flew away with him. The unhappy traveler was left alone again. But she was determined and said, "As far as the wind blows, and as long as the rooster crows, I will keep going until I find him again." She traveled a long way until she reached the castle where the princess had taken the prince. There was a big feast being prepared, and she heard that a wedding was about to happen. "Heaven help me now," she said. She took the box that the sun had given her and found a dress inside that was as bright as the sun. She put it on and went into the palace. Everyone stared at her, and the bride liked the dress so much that she asked if it was for sale. "Not for gold and silver," Lily said, "but for flesh and blood." The princess asked what she meant, and Lily said, "Let me speak with the bridegroom in his room tonight, and I will give you the dress." Finally, the princess agreed, but she told her servant to give the prince a sleeping drink so he would not hear or see Lily. In the evening, after the prince had fallen asleep, Lily was led into his room. She sat at his feet and said, "I have followed you for 7 years. I have been to the sun, the moon, and the night wind to find you. At last, I helped you defeat the dragon. Will you forget me completely?" But the prince slept so deeply that her voice only sounded like the wind blowing through the trees. Then poor Lily was taken away and had to give up the golden dress. Seeing no other way, she went out into a meadow and sat down to cry. But she remembered the egg that the moon had given her. When she broke it, a hen and 12 golden chickens came out. They played around and then nestled under the hen's wings, making the most beautiful sight in the world. Lily got up and drove them before her until the bride saw them from her window. The bride was so pleased that she came out and asked if Lily would sell them. "Not for gold or silver, but for flesh and blood. Let me speak with the bridegroom in his room again tonight, and I will give you the hen and chickens." The princess planned to trick her again and agreed. But when the prince went to his room, he asked his servant why the wind had whistled so loudly the night before. The servant told him everything, how he had given the prince a sleeping drink and how a poor maiden had come to speak to him in his room. She was to come again that night. The prince made sure to throw away the sleeping drink. When Lily came and began to tell him about all the troubles she had faced and how loyal she had been, he recognized his beloved wife's voice. He woke up and said, "You have awakened me from a dream. The strange princess put a spell on me so that I forgot about you completely. But heaven has sent you to me at a lucky time." They quietly left the palace at night and sat on the griffin, who flew back with them over the Red Sea. When they were halfway across, Lily dropped the nut into the water, and a large nut tree grew from the sea. The griffin rested on the tree for a while and then carried them safely home. There, they found their child, now grown up to be handsome and fair. After all their troubles, they lived happily together until the end of their days.